Well, that extraordinary day in US politics, Joe Biden pulling out of the presidential race, just over 100 days now to the polls. So where to here for the Democrats, and is Kamala Harris likely to take the nomination as the party's presidential candidate? Sky News US correspondent Annelise Nielsen with more from Washington.
Peta, Kamala Harris has locked in a number of key endorsements from people who could have been potential rivals. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, has said that he's endorsing Kamala Harris. Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, and of course having the endorsement of Joe Biden as he announced he was withdrawing from the race is a huge help for Kamala Harris, but nothing is guaranteed just yet. One of the things that could upend this early on and thrust this whole campaign into an open convention is the fact Joe Manchin has said he's considering changing his registration back to the Democrat Party after he withdrew and now is operating as an independent senator representing West Virginia in the US Senate. He's seen as a very popular centrist politician who really appeals to many of those blue-collar workers that have been abandoning the Democrats and moving over, especially to Trump on his protectionist trade policies. And J.D. Vance is seen as the kind of candidate that would appeal to those people as well. So then it turns to how does the convention work? At the conventions, each delegation from each state is supposed to vote along the lines of whoever the state voted for in the primaries or caucuses that were held in that state. There's reporting today that a phone call with the 50 state chairs indicated they would all support Kamala Harris. But if another candidate does put their hand up, say that they want to be considered, there's nothing stopping them talking to those delegations as well. Now, the other thing to consider in all this is the Democratic Party has superdelegates. This was essentially created to help lock in the candidacy of Hillary Clinton, and it gives elite members of the party extra voting powers so they get to confirm who they want to have picked. So that's people like the DNC committee at a federal level. It's influential senators like Elizabeth Warren. They get extra votes so they can help put their finger on the scale. So there's plenty that could still change. Nothing is guaranteed. Everything we're seeing is unprecedented. And finally, just to add, while we're speaking about unprecedented, the fact we haven't seen Joe Biden announce that he's withdrawing from the race is extraordinary. The general consensus as we all watched this kind of watching it come to its natural conclusion was that this would be an Oval Office address or there'd be a pre-recorded campaign announcement. The fact we haven't laid eyes on Joe Biden, the letters indicated he'll explain to us later in the week, but there's nothing in his schedule for this week, really does show that something is not normal in all this. The last time we saw him disappear like this was before the presidential debate. So we're keeping a very close eye on this. As soon as we get a glimpse of him, it's going to answer a lot of questions. So we'll be watching very closely over the next week, which is going to be critical.